Two young lives, two very different fates. One vanished after a series of strange, unexplained detours on a California road trip. The other fell nearly 2 miles from the sky into the Amazon rainforest and walked out alive. This is Lost and Found, Bryce Laspisa and Juliane Koepcke. August 30th, 2013. 19-year-old Bryce Laspisa left Sierra College in Rocklin, California to drive home to Laguna Niguel. But from the start, his trip wasn't normal. Friends said he'd been acting out of character for days, giving away personal items, drinking heavily, taking the ADHD drug Vyvanse without a prescription, and abruptly breaking up with his girlfriend. Instead of heading directly south, Bryce's route zigzagged for hundreds of miles. At one point, he spent 9 hours parked near Buttonwillow, California. A roadside service driver checked on him twice and found him coherent but oddly calm. At 2:08 a.m., Bryce called his mother to say he was too tired to drive and would sleep in his car, but within hours, something changed. By morning, his beige 2003 Toyota Highlander was found overturned at the bottom of a 25-foot embankment near Castaic Lake. The rear window had been smashed out from the inside. His wallet, phone, laptop, and duffel bag were still inside, suggesting he hadn't planned to leave for long. Search teams, helicopters, and divers combed the area. Cadaver dogs tracked his scent to a nearby truck stop, and then it stopped cold. No body, no confirmed sightings, no credit card or phone activity. Investigators have floated theories: accident and disorientation, voluntary disappearance, or even foul play. But without a single piece of physical evidence beyond that wrecked SUV, the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa remains one of the strangest open cases in modern California history. December 24th, 1971. 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke boarded Lanza Flight 508 with her mother. They were traveling from Lima to Pucallpa, Peru to spend Christmas at her father's jungle research station. Partway through the flight, the aircraft flew into a massive thunderstorm. Lightning struck the Lockheed L-188 Electra, igniting a fuel tank and tearing the plane apart midair. Juliane, still strapped to her row of 3 seats, was flung nearly 10,000 feet into the rainforest. She landed in dense foliage that cushioned her fall, a factor doctors later said likely saved her life. Her injuries included a broken collarbone, torn knee ligaments, deep lacerations, and a concussion. She had lost 1 shoe, her glasses, and her mother. Growing up in the Amazon had taught her survival skills. She knew to follow running water downstream since people often live along rivers. For 11 days, she trekked through the jungle, wading in knee-deep streams to avoid snakes, drinking river water, and enduring relentless insect bites. At one point, she discovered an abandoned hut with a can of gasoline. She poured it into her arm wound to kill the maggots, enduring searing pain but stopping the infection. On the 11th day, she encountered a group of local lumberjacks. At first, they thought she might be a forest spirit because of her appearance, barefoot, filthy, and severely injured. Once they realized she was human, they cared for her wounds and took her by canoe to safety. Out of 92 passengers and crew, Juliane Koepcke was the only survivor. Her story has been studied by survival experts for decades as one of the most improbable escapes from death ever recorded. One story, a mystery with no answers. The other, survival against impossible odds. Which one stays with you more, the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa or the survival of Juliane Koepcke? Let us know in the comments and follow for more Lost and Found. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on our next descent into the past. We'll see you next time.